Hello, I'm being very quick off the mark for a change with my review. To this afternoon I went to go see Oliver at Leeds Grand Theatre. Now, last night Sam Barks had a Last Night as Nancy in Leeds, and today at the matinee was the first performance of Cat Simmons as Nancy in Leeds. Cat's done the role of Nancy before, when Sam Barks was off filming Eponine in the upcoming Les Miserables film. So it wasn't brand new to her. And this is basically my review of the show. I'll start from the top with the first name that appears from cast in the programme, and that is Neil Morrissey. Now, people know Neil Morrissey as being a comedian, and generally being very funny from Men Behaving Badly. The Fagin, I didn't really like him. I think a lot of people are drawn to him because of Men Behaving Badly and other stuff he's done, but to me he just wasn't Fagin. I didn't find him particularly funny, but the Bob the Builder reference was a bit his singing was terrible. The delivery of his lines was a bit off. Some of his acting choices were okay, but I don't know, I just didn't particularly like him as Fagin. I didn't think he was old enough to play Fagin, because I know most people who played Fagin are not much older than Neil, but I don't know, he just seemed a bit immature, and like I say, he couldn't really sing, and I've said he didn't seem old enough. I think he's got to play this sort of old Jewish man, and what came out was, 40-something Brummy in London, and it just didn't sit right for me. But other people seem to be enjoying his performance, so that's probably just me. But I have enjoyed other interpretations of Fagin. I enjoyed Rowan Atkinson. I enjoyed Omid Jalili. I enjoyed Russ Abbott when he was on in London. I did see Griff, but I wasn't so keen on Griff either. But mostly I've enjoyed the Fagins that I've seen in Oliver, and I've managed to enjoy their different styles. But Neil, no. In the programme, they haven't yet got Cat Simmons in the programme yet. Apparently they're going to do some inserts, but at the moment it's still listing Sam Barks as Nancy. Cat Simmons was really, really good with the kids. She had good interaction with them. I thought her acting was very strong, and she had a really good belting voice for As Long As He Needs Me, and in the songs with the kids as well, she was just fierce. She was brilliant. I could totally believe in her Nancy and relate to her Nancy from my own personal experiences of crazy ex-boyfriends. So yeah, and she was just brilliant. I really enjoyed her performance, and I look forward to going again in 2 weeks' time, because I'm going back in the final week. Because today I thought I'd be seeing Sam Barks, not realising that it was actually last night that was her last night in Leeds, so never mind. I loved Cat Simmons, I thought she was brilliant. Ian Fletcher as Bill Sykes. He's this dude here. I've definitely seen him on telly, I think. Yeah. Maybe it was in the bin, I'm not sure, but his face is vacant. Anyway, he was very, very scary and very intimidating, and he seemed to bully Neil Morrissey around quite a bit, and yeah, he was just like, he did really well, and his My Name was really scary, and I felt like there were bits that were different to London throughout the show. And I don't know if it's just because it's a tour version. They've I don't know if they've come up with new lines and new bits here and there and changed bits from the London production. But it was all good, and there were a couple of bits that he did and Nancy and everyone did that were just different but good. Can I come to my page? As Oliver, I had Jacob Edwards. He's this little guy here. And he's such a cutie, and he sang really, really well. Apparently he was in the ensemble in Newcastle, which was the last Northern date, and I think Brian Conley was vegan then. And he's been promoted to Oliver for the remainder of the UK tour, so go for him. And his Where Is Love is like so emotional. There were loads of ladies around me going sniffing and, you know, getting all emotional and very well spoken and very well sung. He had just the right qualities for Oliver. I had for the Artful Dodger this boy, Brennick O'Connor. Brennick was good, but I think he got drowned out quite a bit by the songs and his microphone. Either it wasn't turned up enough, or sometimes, I don't know, I felt like his voice might be breaking. I don't know if he's starting to go through puberty, but it was like quite gravelly kind of thing, quite hoarse. So I don't know, maybe he won't be Dodger for much longer. But he was really funny. Wasn't quite as cheeky as I've seen previous Dodgers, but very, very good. I'll be interested to see who's going to be the Oliver Dodger combo next time I go, because they've got listed in the programme 5 Olivers and 4 Dodgers. So I don't know quite how that works when it comes to rehearsals. Stephen Moore plays Mr. Brownlow, and again he was very, very quiet, but he's like really good, playing like the patriarch grandfatherly role towards Oliver, and really wants to look after him, and his efforts to try and look after Nancy as well are quite good. The next 2 people I kind of have to mention together because they're a duet. Jack Edwards and Claire Matchin. Where is she? She's there, isn't she? Yeah. Claire Matchin as Mr. Bumble and Widow Carney. I felt like they rushed through their lines and their scenes a bit, and I also felt that they were too young. Like Jack Edwards, I always have this idea in my head, because I saw the London production that many times, that Mr. Bumble needs to be middle-aged and very deep and commanding, and Jack Edwards was like Cockney Gazer kind of thing, and he was very young and very lively. And him and Claire was like, she's quite a skinny Widow Carney, and so she didn't seem as imposing, and I felt like I missed Wendy Ferguson a bit from the original London production as Widow Carney, and it just didn't make sense when Jack Edwards as Mr. Bumble is propositioning Widow Carney, and he's going, as my lovey-dove is chubby, could she love her chubby hubby? And I'm like, but she's not chubby. And like I said, it just felt like they were rushing through their scenes, and I didn't really get them, and I didn't really feel their chemistry as a couple. And normally, I remember when I saw it in London, I was laughing my head off at Julius De Silva, at his frustration at being married to her Widow Carney in the second half, and a little bit sorry for him, but I was just a bit nonplussed by Jack Edwards. So yeah, another couple who grew on me at first. I wasn't keen on them at the beginning of their scene, but by the end I was loving them, was C.J. Johnson as Mrs. Sowerberry and David Langham as Mr. Sowerberry. They were really good. Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to be how they were, and you know, there's obviously, because it's a tour and everything's smaller, choreography and set and everything is different, but it looked really good, and they danced well and they sung well, and their song That's Your Funeral was just like hilarious in a really strange way. Oh yeah, who else have we got? Emma Jukes as Beth. I've seen her sorry, I'm coughing. Yeah. Emma Jukes, I've seen her before in Hairspray as Penny Pingleton in the UK tour. And she was really good as Bet. I don't know whether Bet's supposed to be like just a friend or as like a big sister to Nancy, but I felt there was a real closeness between her and Cat Simmons. Yeah, really good. We actually had a debut within the cast. Stevie Hutchinson, who normally plays Noah Claypole, was off, and instead we had Nick Duncan, and I didn't know that it was Nick's first show until the interval, and I was checking tweets and everyone was congratulating him so far on his first show, and I'd seen Nick Duncan in the Avenue Q tour previously, so I was quite pleased really that he got to go on. It says here he's second cover, so that's like his first show as well. That's awesome. Wonder where Lee Dillon Stewart was. Anyway, and then main cast wise, Victoria Hay as Charlotte. She was very, very good, very funny, and the scene between her and Nick Duncan as Noah Claypole, it was like really awkward to watch, because if you've seen the show before, you know they're like teenagers, they're like all over each other and being a bit filthy with bacon. But it was really good. The ensemble were fantastic, they did really, really well. I loved all the choreography, really choreographed big scenes like Who Will Buy, that was brilliant. And so this is where I'm going to sort of come to the set. Leeds Grand stage is a small stage, and they did really well with the space. Like the differences in the set compared to London obviously were going to be things slid on and off, but they did keep like the bridge, and I really liked the set. It just seemed to work well it works well for touring production. And even though like Who Will Buy is like this massive scene in London and it was just like stuff everywhere to look at, the show felt more intimate being smaller, and I really liked that because it actually felt like I was there involved in it, rather than being in this vast massive space with 2,000-3,000 other people. So yeah. Hello. Good night. That's my mum coming upstairs and wondering who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you. Yes, you. So yeah, set design was good and the choreography was good to match that. The workhouse kids were good. It's obviously a lot smaller group than in London, whereas they had 50 kids. There was only like maybe 15, 20 kids on the stage. And the little guy playing Nipper was so cute and so adorable. Yeah, just a really brilliant show. The costumes look good, and I really like the Leeds Grand Theatre. It's so old. Like most theatres I've been to are really old, but yeah, I've got a fondness for the Leeds Grand Theatre, and I can't wait to go again in 2 weeks' time and see Oliver again. And who knows, I may have another couple of understudies on, I don't know. But yeah, that's my review for Oliver. And until next time, bye!